Drink it slowly then. Look!
Is this the theme from Rocky?
This man will make your liver quiver. This man will make your bladder splatter. This man will freeze your knees. Let's all welcome the world's godfather of soul,
Soul Brothers of Kung Fu is a 1977 martial arts action film directed by Shane Hung, starring Bruce Lee, Feng Ku, Meng Lo, and Carl Scott. This film is a hidden film. I guarantee you almost nobody has ever seen this film. This is a pure cinema film that only pure cinema goers know and will spread about it. Personally, I've never heard of the film. I recently listened to Quentin Tarantino's Pure Cinema podcast, and he recommended this movie because Quentin said this is one of his favorite martial art films of all time.
In Soul Brothers of Kung Fu, I just can't wait for a new character to show up so I can see what t-shirt he's wearing.
Right. They do wear great t-shirts in that movie, for sure.
It might be my favorite of the. It might, at the end of the day, be my favorite of the modern ones too. I mean, it's one of those movies where it's like Soul Brothers Kung Fu. I mean, other than the fact that I really love Bruce Lee in that film, and I love Lo Mang in the film, and they're fantastic together. And you know, my heart goes out to Lo Mang's character. I mean, I think it does have that feeling like I get when I watch Switchblade Sisters, where I actually like both girls, and you know they're going to end up fighting each other, and it's heart wrenching knowing that you're heading towards there because you actually care about them.
You see, Soul Brothers of Kung Fu was a film that came out in a sort of like weird Goldilocks era where of the 1970s, where in 1973 Bruce Lee had just passed away and Hong Kong cinema just lost their golden ticket. An actor named James Ho had just gone into Hong Kong cinema. When producers in China saw him, he gave a really similar resemblance to Bruce Lee. So a producer by the name of Jimmy Shaw, who I don't believe this guy has any relation to the Shaw brothers, but if anybody can correct me, let me know down in the comments. Look, you can make a career being a Bruce Lee impersonator, and that's what James Ho did, and he legally changed his name to Bruce Lee. And from 1973 up until 1990, this guy started to make back after back Bruce Lee impersonation films. He made Fist of Fury sequels pretending to be Bruce Lee, yada yada yada, and Bruce Lee happened to land this movie, Soul Brothers of Kung Fu. Straight off the bat, it hits you with, you got the Rocky theme, you got these immigrants on a boat, martial arts action throughout the whole movie. The fight scenes are top tier.
Again.
Everybody in this movie can fight. You follow the story, chaos upon chaos going down. Straight off the bat, I have to recommend this movie. It's honestly like a 9 out of 10. It's not a 10 out of 10 just because of just something like legendary missing. But honestly, I'd have to recommend this to you. I saw this movie on YouTube on the Wu-Tang Collection YouTube channel, which I will link down below. You can watch the full movie in beautiful widescreen and beautiful film quality for free on YouTube. It's about an hour and a half movie. Go check it out. Right now, we're going to get into the whole film spoiler talk. Let's get into it. Basically, this film starts off with 3 immigrants on a boat. They're dying of starvation and food. They end up getting picked up by a boat. A boat picks them up, gives them food, and they get to the mainland, I think Hong Kong. It's 2 men and a girl. The 2 men are Bruce Lee and Feng Ku. In the beginning, once they get rescued by the boat and they land in mainland China, the 2 men, Bruce Lee and Feng Ku, they get a job working at a construction site. Off in the side, they see a young Carl Scott who is painting a cargo ship, and he happens to get paint on the boss, and the boss asks some of the other co-workers there to fuck up Carl Scott. So Bruce Lee and Fang Ku see this, and they're like, yo, this is not cool. We're not good with bullying.
Just 2 days. Black bastard. Grab him.
They save Carl Scott. All 3 of them get fired from the construction job, and they're out of a job, living in an apartment. Meng Lo finds out about it. She's not having it. At this point, we already start to notice there's some like sexual tension between the 2 men, Bruce Lee and Fang Ku, with Meng Lo. So you're already getting that dynamic. Bruce Lee ends up getting with Meng Lo. They end up dating. Yada yada yada, stuff happens. Bruce Lee ends up taking Carl Scott under his wing, teaching him martial arts, teaching him how to fight and protect himself so he doesn't ever get bullied again.
These fighting stick things, they look real cool, man. Show me how to use them.
The training scenes in this movie are beyond perfect. The fight scenes are very, very realistic. The whole plot of the movie is this. That boss that had paint spilled on him and had his co-worker bullies get beat up by Bruce Lee and them, and after he fired the guys, he wanted revenge because it was a fucking personal vendetta that this guy not only beat up his henchmen, messed up his suit, but also he is tied with the Triads, and he will do whatever in his power to take all 3 of them out, either by murder or putting them out on the street so they never get a job in China. Bruce Lee and Meng Lo, they start dating. Bruce Lee proposes to Meng Lo. She loves it. The Triads try to take out Bruce Lee and Fang Ku and Carl Scott, but they fuck him up. They backhand him, front kick him, side kick him. They're not dealing with that. Already halfway in the movie where the Triads are trying to take out the four amigos. Not happening. So what the boss does, the construction worker boss, is he hires 3 assassins. Some centipede caterpillar guy. We got an American boxer. And then we got this guy who's like chopping bamboo trees with his like 3 fingers. We get, at this point in the movie, I didn't think we were gonna go this way, but we get a weird rape scene where Meng Lo gets kidnapped at a park. Bruce Lee barely sees it, goes to go save her life, and one of the assassins tries to rape her, and I'm like, oh shit, are we going into like some Last House on the Left shit? You know what I mean? Like some revenge murder. Bruce Lee ends up defeating the guys trying to molest Meng Lo. Meng Lo ends up running away scared outside of the park. And Bruce Lee ends up getting knocked out by one of the henchmen, wakes up in a hospital. Fang Ku has to tell him, yo brother, Meng Lo didn't make it. She passed away and you need to heal up. At this point, we're already halfway into the film. Bruce Lee has just lost his fiance. Halfway into the movie, his personal reason to live is to now defeat the 3 assassins and take out the construction worker boss.
I could pay.
So he trains, he's like in a cast, he's just training. Here's where the twist comes. Fang Ku, his right-hand man on that boat. It was the 3 of them. Now there's only 2 of them. He ends up finding a hostess woman at a bar, falls in love with her, and this woman she's just evil. She goes, why would I stay with you? Why would I marry you? You're poor, you're an immigrant, this and that. You have no money. So what he says is he goes, I'll get $10,000. So he goes up to Bruce Lee, who's still recovering, and he goes, hey yo, Bruce Lee, I met this girl, she's beautiful, she just wants a lot of money, I want to give her a ring and I want to buy her a house so she could could see that I'm serious. And Bruce Lee looks at him and goes, "You're out of your fucking mind, dude. I'm not giving you money, especially with this fiend of a whore." He doesn't say whore, but she's a filthy animal. You kidding me? You want money? Fuck out of here.
10 grand? Twice that. Well, that's a lot. What for? Get married. Married? To who? Dora. Do you know what she is? I know. She's a bar girl. Well, how can you marry a bar girl? I love her.
So Fang Ku ends up going into gambling to try to win money, win at the lottery, doesn't win squat. He ends up getting secretly recruited by the Triads, and at this point, he becomes an enemy to Bruce Lee and Carl Scott. This is where it killed me into the movie. The last 30 minutes of the movie is just pure motherfucking action. At this point, it becomes where Bruce Lee is fully healed up. He goes up to all three assassins, takes them out one by one. Then he finds out that Fang Ku, his best friend, turned with the Triads, and he tried to kill him by running him over with a car. So Bruce Lee has to do what he has to do, and he defeats his best friend, Fang Ku, kills him, ends up going back to his house to find Carl Scott had just been murdered.
Wait, look. If you had pushed me in the sea, this wouldn't have happened.
It's Bruce Lee, the construction worker boss. Bruce Lee triumphs and defeats him, and he holds Carl Scott in his hands, and then the movie... fucking ends. Crazy, man. These Hong Kong cinema movies, this tends to be a big running trope, or you'll see these indie movies. I'll see it with like Bollywood movies and even Hong Kong cinema movies where they don't even do a credit scene. It's just literally movie ends and boom, done, black screen, go home. And you're just like, whoa, that was, it's a lot, coming from American cinema. But hey, it's quick, They say a running time of 1 hour and 30 minutes. It is 1 hour and 30 minutes, no more, no less. So fun fact, when I was listening to Quentin Tarantino's Pure Cinema podcast, he did mention one thing that I did like.
Soul Brothers of Kung Fu, there's 2 different endings. The video versions has Carl Scott die. All right. The theatrical release, not only does he not die, it ends in complete triumph with Bruce Lee throwing his arm around Carl Scott to a freeze frame of the Rocky thing. The theatrical version that we always saw at the theaters that played in black theaters. I think it's probably one of those situations where, okay, for Taiwan we'll do this.
Yeah.
For Hong Kong we'll do this. For mainland we'll do this. For Korea we'll do that. Why not do this? Why not do that? And it probably just, it's probably just completely fucking random.
Right. Yeah. Weird.
No reason why. There's no one to ask. This movie doesn't even have a Wikipedia. Trust me, I tried looking it up. Can't find anything. It's very hard. I gotta go on IMDb to see if these actors are even alive. It's pretty cool finding out that there's 2 versions to this movie. It's pretty cool to find out that this is kind of like an underground movie that nobody really knows. And, pure cinema people like Quentin and me gotta spread this movie as much as we can to people who just don't even know it even exists. I cannot, again, recommend this movie even more. If you like this review, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've seen it. Watch it. I'll leave it in the description. Like I said, this movie is a 9 out of 10 for me. It's a fucking classic. I am so glad I found this out. I will also link in the description Quentin Tarantino's Pure Cinema podcast, where the dude's an encyclopedia. Everybody in film knows this. He just has films off the back of his brain. He'll tell you movies you never even heard about that should be Academy Award winning. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. Thank you for watching, and it is your boy Steven, and I'll see you next time. See you later.